channel. I am bringing through today the magical ingredients that are part of Healing Insight for change. So I wanted to talk about how you can be a change agent within your own life and within this collective change and shift that's happening now. So the Healing Insight method was born for transformation, for personal transformation, through my own healing journey, explorations around my own healing, and through work that I've done with many clients. And it's a little bit like I have drawn together all these little magical pieces that I've learned on my path, and brought them forward in a method that has been gifted for you. So in the release of the app that makes the walk through the method so much more easy to follow, I wanted to bring through this, the magical ingredients, so you get a sense of how, why, where, that you can feel into the wonder of all the pieces of the method that in so many ways seem so simple, and yet when weaved together create a real potential for change, both within the self, within your own energy frequency, which impacts your wider reality, and change on the outer, change within the world. Because we are all co-creating this reality that we are experiencing. And so there is a taking back of one's power and an ability to create something beautiful, which really requires us to release limitation and to release ideas of lack, ideas of not good enough, ideas of unworthiness, that are largely programs that keep getting played out, experienced and attached to. So this method helps you to undo, unwind, so you can reach your fullest potential, and we collectively can reach our fullest potential in this human experience. So the first magic ingredients is what I'm referring to as the now. I will just frame, I have the book working with beliefs for working with chakras for belief change, and in the beginning of the book it walks through my personal journey, but my life lessons. So in these life lessons, they're kind of like aha moments where something landed, something clicked, I got something. At an embodiment level, at a realization level, that whatever I was doing was not working for me. It was not supporting me. It was not grounded. And so each of these life lessons for me was an aha moment where something dropped, something landed. And I was going to share these with you today, but there are 16 of them. And then there are also 12 mechanisms through which healing is necessary. So, and it feels like a lot for one video. So what I've done is, this is all in the book. So if you want to dive deeper, you're on a personal healing journey, you're looking at working with the mind, body, spirit as one, then this is what this method does for you. I personally don't believe we can separate things out. I think they're all interconnected. We can come at it from different angles, but we have to hold the whole, including the emotional body as well. So what I've done is I've made a little note of what I consider to be the key magical ingredients, and I'm going to share those with you now. So the first is the now. It's bringing everything into the now. So we have stories that we tell about the past, the things that have happened to us that have made us who we are now. And very often, if these stories are not resolved or we've not made peace with these stories, then we can carry either a victimhood consciousness through, or we can carry disempowerment. We can carry hurts, wounds, we can carry a mistrust. So whatever's happened to us in the past, and realistically, That's happens ancestrally to 1, 2, 3, however many generations. So without consciousness, we carry hurts and wounds forward through the generations. So it stops with us and we can bring it into the now. And what we don't want to do is tell stories of the past and project them onto the future, because we keep recreating the same, having the same kind of relationships, the same kind of experiences. And so we're constantly giving our power away to a future. Perhaps this is where anxiety, worry steps in. A what if, a story that doesn't need to be told. So we need to draw the stories back into the now. We need to leave the past in the past, take the learning, take the lessons, do the inner work. The method does help you with that, and there are many methods. This is not, it's a tool, that's all it is, but it's a mechanism through which you can go inward and move energy through, come into a different kind of alignment. So what we want to bring it in is into this now. So now, here now, is where the power is. So a simple breath into the now, an acknowledgement of the now, draws us into this time-space coordinate, this time-space reality, where we are creating our next now moment. So your frequency, your vibration, your thoughts, your feelings, your behaviors, what we do in this now informs our next now moment. So the choices that we make in this now, depending upon the thoughts, the feelings, and so on, affect our next now moment. So always taking the power back into the now. What do I choose? What do I prefer? How would I prefer this to work out? Where's the gift in this? That there's things that we can do to orient ourselves into the now and to make the now an empowering place to sit. Another of these magic ingredients, I've actually just put at the bottom of the list here, and it weaves in later, but I'm going to just bring it up here now, is non-judgement. Non-judgement is key. When we judge ourselves, we judge our behaviours, we judge others, we keep ourselves in story, and we keep ourselves in separation. Separation for all humans is painful. We might find it safe to separate ourselves out. We might feel peaceful when we separate ourselves out. But if we remain in a state of separation, it's not our natural way of being. We are one soul split into many, having an experience, and we need reflection and we need connection. We are tribal beings, and we are part of, we create family, we work best together, we're supposed to do this together. So when we bring in judgment, we bring in these pains of separation, and judgment, it's a habit, a system, a pattern. It's how we get controlled. It's how we get manipulated. This person is this person's this. Don't trust that. You can't trust this. We place judgment rather than radical compassion, understanding of why someone behaves the way in which they behave. We don't take on the whole picture. We only see the outer expression. We don't understand why people might behave in ways in which they do. So welcoming of radical compassion, welcoming of non-judgment goes a very long way to making peace and enabling us to be in the now and not tell the stories. So non-judgment, radical compassion, unconditional love, we could say. It's love without conditions that enables us to be present in the now with what is. So we're not pretending, we're not needing it to be any other way in which it is, but we're not judging it, and we're not hiding it. This is all part of that beautiful shadow work, that we don't need to make the shadow wrong, bad, unhealthy. We just need to understand why it expresses the way in which it expresses and welcome it in to see what it needs to allow energy to transform and move into something healthy, into something organically harmonious, which is where energy wants to align to. It's where it wants to move to. Very often, what's expressed as, hatred, judgment, bad, wrong, is disharmonious. It's not in alignment. And so rather than perpetuating that, maintaining that, pushing that out into the world, out, owning what's ours, loving the self, even the self-limiting thoughts, the self-limiting behaviors, the things that we don't like about ourselves, we need to see them, bring them in and into the now, and love them, include them. That way we can bring them back into alignment. So that was the next magical ingredient for using the healing insight method is alignment. So there is an alignment. There is a opportunity for, we could call it divine alignment, when something feels balanced. Okay, so there's the balance can become off. We can lose center, and we can bring ourselves back into coherence, back into balance. So very often this might be where the head, the heart, and the gut are in balance. It may be where the left brain and the right brain are in balance. It may be where there is a harmonious love state, a balanced state, a peaceful state. But we're always moving ourselves as best we can back into balance. Sometimes we will express in a certain way, but we can't keep expressing. If we are very passionate about something, or if we've got a lot of anger, if we're very fiery about something, that's not sustainable. So it needs to come back into balance. If we're, it's like the yin and the yang. If we're too yin, too receptive, and, we can get very weighted down. We can be the container that holds everything, and then we can we can not have enough fire energy to be able to move. So there's a balance to everything. There's a natural compression, contraction, and expansion, the yin and the yang. And somewhere in the center point of that, there is balance. So with regards to the alignment and this sense of balance, one of my major healing points, I'd gone a very long way with my healing, but when I found Qigong, and I found the Wuchi, this empty point, and the center point of balance, when you hit it, you start to come to know it, and you start to come to know when you're off balance, and you have more awareness of your center and awareness of where you're out of balance, out of whack. So Qigong is beautiful because it gives you a setup. It gives you movement. It gives you an ability to flow, an ability to bring yourself back into alignment and back into balance. So it felt essential when I channeled all of the beliefs. I had a sense of, right, what do we do to align ourselves with these beliefs? And then I was shown visually the method. And when I tried it, of course, it makes sense. So you're setting yourself up in this center point for balance. So there is an alignment, there's a natural alignment, and we're looking to bring ourselves into alignment. So one magical ingredient, alignment. On the alignment, know that there is an intentional vector that's moving us into center, into alignment, into a harmonic balance. The next magical ingredient that we need to be aware of is energy. Okay, we are energy beings. Everything in this universe is made of energy, moves through energy. So no matter how the waveform, how dense it is, that it looks solid and it looks like form, or how expanded it is that we can't see it, but we can sense perhaps energy. Within the body, you're made of energy. Energy is moving, flowing. We have energy centers, the chakras. We have energy meridians, the energy lines that are used in, say, acupuncture, that Qigong follows, the meridians, the energy clearing lines. So energy is a part of who we are. We know when we're low energy and we feel like, oh, we can't. I lived there for many, many years. I know that place very well. Don't have the energy to move. Don't have the energy to get up. I'm not motivated. I don't feel like seeing anybody. I don't feel like doing anything. So we know when the energy is really flat. We know when we feel good, when we feel alive, and when we feel like we want to get something done. I love, as simple as it is, I love those moments where it's like, right, I'm going to tidy my house. And it feels good because I'm expending energy. I can see the gain. I can see me interacting with my world and my environment and how I'm transforming it and shifting it and using my energy to make something happen, make something change. There's so much energy for the 6 months that this book and healing method wanted to come through. It was coming, and there was so much energy in it, and I had to just allow that energy to move and flow. And if you can see with my movements, there's a directing of energy, there's a movement and a flow. So when we are energetic beings, we need to enable energy to flow. Where we become stuck, where we become stagnant, where we start holding. So for many of you, the holding of the breath will be familiar. I see it all the time with my work. When there's something there, people will literally go into holding their breath. I do it sometimes. You notice you're going into a holding pattern. It's like, okay, let's breathe. Okay, so the breath is a simple key way of moving or unsticking energy. So we can welcome breath, we can welcome movement, we can welcome softening into whatever we are holding. Okay, so if we're holding something, it's something that we're uncomfortable with, mentally or emotionally. That can then become physical discomfort. So the stiff neck, the sore shoulders, the headaches, the bad tummy, a bad knee, whatever it may be. Generally, we're holding energy that's stuck. Usually there's emotion there that is, unpleasant emotion, whether it's shame is a really hard one. Shame, anger, guilt, grief, sadness, these lower density emotions, when they start to really set in, become very compressed and very heavy in the body, and our bodies start to hold these energies, and we get blockages. And when the energy lines don't block, or if the chakras get blocked, then we start to see illness and disease in the body. So energy moving, energy flowing, identifying where your blockages are, going into the blockages to discover, to see, what am I holding, what's in there, what's my buried emotions. So key to healing. I can't express this enough. Identifying blocked, trapped emotion really frees you up. Loving it, not judging it, and opening to release, relief, forgiveness. This is what healing is. And this allows the patterns to unstick, the contractions to unfold, energy to flow, and the body to restore, because the body always will move towards healing when the environment is happy inside. So unstick the energy, allow the energy to move. The Healing Insight method uses the infinity harmonizing movement right down by the belly, because that's the lower dantian, that's your emotional center. And when energy starts to unwind and starts to unstick there, the energy moves all the way through. So that energy will move up to, the heart chakra, the lungs, digestion, solar plexus, up to the throat and up to the third eye and brain. So the energy moves all the way up, and that's what we want. We want energy to move, energy to start flowing for health and well-being and alignment. Okay. So the next magical ingredient, and this is key, it is the process of allowing, of letting go, of surrender. Okay. So we're working with release and control, needing to be in control, which requires us to have a sense of internal safety, internal stability, internal support, that I've got myself, okay? I'm holding myself. I'm capable of holding this emotion. It's mine. I've experienced everything that is I'm holding in my body already. I'm still here, and I can love it, and I can breathe with it, and I've got this. So when you are lovingly supporting yourself, where there's love, there's self-love, and you're not rejecting of yourself, then you can surrender into that. You can let go of control, and you can start to allow experiences, allow emotion to come up. Emotion generally won't kill us, it won't hurt us if we allow it to release. Okay, the problem comes when we control it and we keep it stuck and we keep it locked in. That sets into the dis-ease. So allowing emotion to surface is really healthy, including anger, all emotions, the feeling really bad, the feeling really guilty, the wishing that we'd done something different. It's all part of the human journey and the process of learning and evolving. And taking our power back means, this is another magical ingredient, they're also woven in, it's personal responsibility. Okay, bringing in personal responsibility for your own healing journey, for any actions, any times you've done something, spoken something in that you wish you hadn't said that, it was your hurts, it was your wounds getting played out, expressing, you didn't really mean it, but you said it, and it happens. We are in that perfectly imperfect becoming, always arriving. That's the journey. We are here for the journey. We're not here for the perfection. We are in so many ways divine perfection, learning to be in human form, walking in very dense circumstances with a lot of trauma. This is not an easy place to be. The level of manipulation, control, the difficulty that's been recycled and recycled and recycled. So please do not give yourselves a hard time. The power comes from self-healing, self-forgiveness, self-love. And then we can be more mindful, we can be more conscious, and we can extend that out to others. And we can forgive others. And we can understand that everyone's doing their best, apart from when they're not, and when they're not conscious. And that's part of the human journey. So personal responsibility, magical ingredient for, moving us out of victimhood and for bringing us really back into this now and into this potential for change. It's like, right, I can own that. And when I own that, I'm owning my power. I'm owning my authenticity. I'm owning who I am as a being doing their best most of the time with as much awareness or consciousness as I have in each now moment. And it's enough, okay? So just honouring that sense of personal responsibility, taking it back. Sometimes, life happens to us, trauma happens to us, things happen to us that we are not responsible for. That's part of the journey. So it seems that's part of the journey. our personal responsibility is how we move through that, how we deal with that, how we respond to that, how we process that, and how we choose to transform it rather than pass it on and pay it forward. So we can choose to remain bitter, we can choose to remain angry, we can choose to remain blameful, or we can liberate ourselves and free ourselves from the outer realities that don't work for us anymore, they don't serve us anymore, and we can become part of the change. So, which takes us on to the next magical ingredient. So this is change. This really is about being a change agent for good. So in each now moment with the Healing Insight method and with the process, you're opening up every time you find a limiting belief, every time you're telling a negative story that doesn't need to be told, you have an opportunity to change it, right? And there's a real gift in that. So discover what it is that you need to change, that whatever you need to come into alignment with, whatever's going to serve your highest purpose, your healing path, and you're choosing to change. That's what it is. You're choosing to change. You're choosing not to stay stuck with the old or with what was passed down to you through your culture, through any outer influence. You're choosing your own divine alignment, what's true, what's real for you. You're choosing how you want to be in the world. And change then really does become possible. Totally possible. I completely have walked my talk, and my whole body has changed, has healed. My life has changed. I'm experiencing, really beautiful, amazing moments and things. It's not without its challenges, because I push the limits of what's possible. I'm holding a very big vision for a very different reality, and that takes a lot of takes a lot of adjustment. And I'm holding my divine truth of what I know to be true and real for me. And I know that there are others that are holding that divine truth as well. And that energy frequency is magnetic, and it will evolve. And so I can say, hand on heart, change is possible, and we can change our internal realities, and we can change the outer reality. And best if we're all on the job and we're all doing it together. So this is, I think, the gift for Healing Insight. It's to unstick us, unplug us from the programs, to choose change, to choose to change our inner realities, to choose to change the outer realities, and to live from more joy, more love, more happiness, more peace, more fulfillment, passion, purpose, soul alignment. That's all available for the taking. So they are really the key ingredients. The method itself, there's one more that I'm going to speak to, and this is the piece around opening to spirit, opening to the magic, opening to the whispers of your soul, opening to the heart calling, the passion, the purpose, the embodiment of your soul, of the higher self, the bringing of heaven to earth, the living it in human form. That's what's available for us. And the beliefs that are in the book, they're all aligned for our highest good. They're all beliefs that are expansive, supportive. They open a door. They stop limitation, contraction. They support. They move through the chakras. And the reason that they are oriented around the chakras, I believe, is because that gives us the whole of human consciousness, the whole of the human experience, from the root chakra, safety, connection to earth, the physicality, through the sacral, our sexual energy, our ability to create, to be impactful, that kind of real rich water element, all the way through solar plexus, power center, individuation. Who am I that's different from everybody else? How can I be my best self, not need to be like anyone else? Heart chakra, how can I bring love, compassion, healing, harmony, balance to my inner and the outer? Throat chakra, how can I speak my truth amidst the many truths out there? What's real, what's true for me? How can I start to manifest, change the space around me, and honor all that I am in this world, and take up my space and share my space with others? How do I navigate that and manage that in the ether? And our third eyes, our ability to see beyond what's spoken, what's expressed, what's written down sometimes. How can we see the truth of the reality of consciousness in a different kind of way? The subtle energy streams that are, they add the magic to the life. They add the meaning, the depth, there's so much more. There's so much more to this beautiful world, this reality that we can open to. And also this unified space, beyond the splitting, beyond the separation, to come into that center point of unity, the meeting space, and of course crown chakra and our connection to consciousness, to spirit, to light, to our multidimensionality. And how can we open, how can we experience the fullness of what it is to be human, and not just live from our survival roots that are not healthy and strong and in balance, but are in lack and in survival and out of safety. So there's a whole depth of human experience waiting for us to pick it up and align with it and open to it and become more fully who we truly are. And that's really exciting. And the method will give you, if you have a life issue, such as a desire for a loving relationship where you can be seen and loved, and you can be yourself. You can be loved for being yourself, and acceptance. Then you can use that as a life issue. You can go to the method. You can do it through the app, and the app will walk you through. And you can muscle test yourself. It teaches you how to do that, to see what do you need to come into alignment to bring this life issue into alignment. And the joy of that is that you don't need to know because you are part of divine intelligence. The system is part of divine intelligence. Your higher self will guide you, will support you. Your body will guide you and support you. Your innate wisdom will guide you and support you, so that you can bring yourself into alignment and you can allow the release of the stock energy, the trapped energy, through emptiness, through movement, through focus, through hemispheric integration, and through visualization and grounding and planting of these beliefs, however many you need to shift your life story. So there's a lot of magic in here. And it's brought with love. This, I was guided to give it all, to put it all in the book. It's all in the book. It is mostly in the card deck, apart from the advanced method. It's all in the app that's just going out now, and that's just getting trialed by the first 100 of you. And it's a gift for the taking. So I hope you've got a sense of the power of transformation, what it can do for you when you say yes. And pick it up, have a play, and enjoy the journey. All right, love from me, and blessings. You take care.